In order to stroke my vanity, I printed it out in larger print, so I may not have to put my glasses on to read it. So we'll see. So, as a Catholic, I'm used to these mass meetings. Former Catholic, I should say, but anyway. So on behalf of the Non-Tenure Track Hidden Treasure Organizing Committee, the Office for Faculty Development, University College, and the Provost's Office, I'd like to welcome you to our 4th annual Hidden Treasure celebration of the achievements of NTT faculty. To my knowledge, this is still 4 years later, the only such event ever to be held at a North American university, a groundbreaking achievement for UMass Boston and for us. The first Hidden Treasure, as I say again, was a milestone. Again, the first event of its kind ever held in North America. We had raised the idea a year or so before that first milestone, and we all thought it was a great idea, but the question was to get it done. So after sitting around for a year or so, we've finally done it. This is our 4th. It's just fantastic. The dream became a reality. An important part of making that dream a reality was our support from the College of Liberal Arts and then Dean Donna Kaisinger. She sponsored and endorsed the event. She extended talents and abilities of her staff like Pam Annis and the now retired Jack Spence, which was wonderful. And she provided tasty cookies for our coffee break. Where is she? Hint, hint. There she is, hint, hint. Okay, as we know, Donna Kaisinger has moved up in our hierarchy to a new position, but we're fortunate today to be able to continue our special relationship with the CLA. For with us today is Emily McDermott, the interim dean of the CLA, who is chair of the Classics Department, formerly Dean of Graduate Studies, and is a full professor here at UMass Boston. So please welcome Dean Emily McDermott.
Good afternoon. I'm happy to be here just to say a few words before I'm afraid I have to run off to another meeting. But I'm excited to be here and to welcome you to this Hidden Treasure event. I'm taken with the name Hidden Treasure, and I was trying to think if I believe it. And in one sense, I think non-tenure track faculty are a hidden treasure because maybe in the sense of not always sufficiently celebrated, they can be hidden. But from the point of view of our students, you're enormously visible. Students don't make distinctions between tenure track and non-tenure track. They make a distinction between me and my teacher. And I think it's very important for all non-tenure track people to realize that you're playing a role that is just as vital as the role that a full professor plays when he or she goes into the classroom. And that if you do sometimes feel insufficiently celebrated for that role, we do know, everyone on the other side knows how important a role it is, and maybe forget once in a while to celebrate you, but keep reminding us so that we can do that. I come from the faculty of the Classics Department, and we have a set of NTTs in our department that absolutely have become part of our fabric, and we value them equally with our tenure track colleagues, and especially for their generous contributions above and beyond what they're supposed to be contributing, which I think probably almost all NTTs on campus do. So I'm happy to be here to kick off the celebration that will make the role of the NTTs more visible and the wonderful work you do in teaching and scholarship and service to the university. Thanks.
We're videotaping it. We're going to put it on YouTube and get 1 million hits the first hour or two. You should know that we have sandwiches behind the doors that Dick just closed. They're free with a soda and all kinds of stuff, so please take them. Okay. Many of us here teach university college courses in the summer and winter sessions for sure, and many of us also at the satellite sites like Copley or Braintree. And now more and more of us are teaching distance education, all of which is run through University College. University College is growing. That's the university's plan, and it's planned to grow even more in the future. So we thought it would be important to involve University College in Hidden Treasure. And we had invited Dean Phil DeSalvio to come here. He has another meeting to go at, and it's in Quinn. If you've ever seen Phil walk, you know if he came here, he probably wouldn't get there till after it was over. We had to leave here. So, and we also invite University College because they always give us money every year. And so Phil's not here, but we had the acting dean who replaced Dirk Messelar when he retired. And now Phil has taken over. Did a wonderful job. Dennis Maxey, we negotiated. Dennis was on the other side, but we still liked him. And we've always liked Dennis. So he's going to speak for just a minute or so, because he also has some other things he has to do. He's already told me he has to get out of here as quickly as possible. But so please welcome Dennis Maxey.
This is a great honor, so thank you so much for inviting our dean, and he was kind enough to invite me because I heard about these sandwiches, and I'm looking forward to that. Emily spoke specifically about the students, and indeed the students are probably the most vital connection that we have with what we do as a university. And non-tenure track faculty are considered, as she said, totally interchangeable with folks that are on the tenure track. But there are some other things that are also really important, that University College could not exist without you. That's the flat-out truth. I mean, we couldn't. The number of courses that need to be taught could not be taught just through the tenure track folks that we have. We need you. The university needs you too. And I can't say enough about, I think John mentioned the fact that I sat on the other side of a table during negotiations, but the profound respect that really came from those negotiations and what I see daily, I just want to thank you very much.
Dennis keeps trying to get me to join his staff and himself play basketball every Friday. And so if I didn't let him speak, he was going to have the receptionist stuff me every time I went in toward the basket, so I had to let him speak. What I'd like to do now is quickly recognize our Hidden Treasure Organizing Committee. This year was our largest one. People did a lot of work, and they deserve some recognition. Victoria Kingsley of English, Emmett Schaefer, who's here, from Sociology, Natalia Scarpetti from English, who's pregnant, so she's not here today. Robert Sauer from History, who I believe is teaching right now. Anna Beckwith, Sociology, she'll be here later. Stan Morse, who is here from Psychology. Hi, Stan. Thomas Johnson from History. Wendy Scherner from ESL, who's here. Sandra Howland will be here later from English. Tara Debiashuk from Biology and Anthropology, who's teaching all day in labs. Rebecca Saunders from English, who's not here yet, will be doing her play later. And my good friend, an indispensable person for me in terms of my organizing, and more so in everything I seem to be doing on this campus, is Catherine Kogan from Psychology. So thank you, guys. If anybody wants to join the organizing committee, even though it's large now, there's things that you can do. So please just email me or the FSU office. We do a lot of things through our union, as we all know. Hidden Treasure, fourth year, starting to have more of a campus-wide resonance. I think I mentioned earlier, I got a complaint from someone in the sciences that we didn't invite their dean, Andrew, to come here. And that's good news for us. Actually, I thought we did, but anyway, it's good news for us that somebody wants to come. You can see we can always use a few more. One of the things that has helped us get our campus-wide acceptance is working this year with the Office for Faculty Development. We were able to set up the knowledge tables that are outside. First year we've done it, and we're going to do it again next year. And also the publicity was better and better than ever. One reason we were able to help set this up was the work that Catherine Kogan did in setting the groundwork, the framework to develop the Office for Faculty Development. In that office, Camille Curtis Martinez and Rajni Srikanth, our friend, has done just a marvelous, marvelous work. So I think it's most appropriate that I shut up and that we let many people, no applause please, and we'll let Catherine speak about the Office of Faculty Development, and then we'll have Rajni please speak after that. Thank you.
Hi, thank you for coming. I'm very pleased to introduce to you who you already know, Dr. Rajni Srikanth, Associate Provost for Faculty Affairs, Director of the Honors Program, tenured faculty in the English Department, and Chair of the Office for Faculty Development. I can't imagine how she does all of this, but she does, and she does everything fabulously. The Office for Faculty Development, chaired by Dr. Srikanth, has been a key sponsor for this event, and I would just like to say a couple of words about her. Dr. Srikanth has been a great supporter and advocate for NTT faculty. Her concern about the marginalization of NTT faculty and her interest in changing the culture of the university towards greater recognition and inclusion became clear to me during the 2-year planning process that I was able to be involved in. It was a planning process to develop a program for faculty development here at UMass Boston. Under her leadership, the committees that formed the Office for Faculty Development developed its mission and planned out its agenda for the years to come. I was very struck by how Rajni was able to embrace the concerns and understand the issues facing non-tenure track faculty. Under her leadership, the Office for Faculty Development, which was inaugurated last spring at a terrific event. This office has embraced NTT faculty and has given considerable thought and attention to the professional needs of NTT faculty. The Office of Faculty Development has offered invaluable assistance to HiddenTreasure in terms of time and resources. So thank you, Dr. Srikanth, very much. The most valuable of those resources has been the time and expertise of Camille Martinez, coordinator of the Office for Faculty Development. This event could not have been possible without Camille's enthusiasm, creativity, and hard work. The HiddenTreasure Planning Committee would like to thank both Dr. Srikanth and Camille Martinez for your dedication to this project.
Right, okay. So thank you, Kathy. That was really, really sweet. And those flowers, oh my God, completely a surprise. I really, really appreciate that. Yeah. I'm glad Camille came because I wanted to say that without Camille, we would not have an Office for Faculty Development. There's so much that happens, and I don't know how you keep it all together, Camille, so many, many thanks to you. Okay. I also want to use this moment actually to recognize somebody without whom I could not do one of my jobs, and that's Dick Cluster. Dick, stand up. Dick, as you know, has been a long-standing member of the NTT faculty. He is the Associate Director of the Honors Program, and he is a person who keeps me very honest. He tends to challenge me about everything I say, but that is a good thing. That is a good thing, and it's what helps me to do my job really well. So thank you, Dick, and I know you know how fabulous he is. What I want to say is, you know, everything that Emily said about the importance of the non-tenure track faculty on this campus, and that was echoed by Dennis Maxey. I just have to reiterate, underline, underscore, so that you realize that you are, in many ways, a second backbone, or an intertwined backbone of this campus. And Dennis, in fact, pointed out the ways in which your contributions actually help generate revenues for this campus. As you know, the University College is a revenue-generating arm of our university, and your teaching in that particular college has profound implications for all of us. And so don't forget that you actually help make money, and power comes from that. So don't forget that. Okay. I want to also tell you a little bit about the Office of Faculty Development and how we operate. Kathy Kogan is a member of the advisory board of the Office for Faculty Development, and she has been your tireless advocate. She's very forthright, she's very insistent, and these are good things. We're a large advisory board. We have about 12 or 13 members, I think, on the advisory board, and our objective when we set up the advisory board was to make sure that we got people from various constituencies on campus, faculty, staff, and we wanted to make absolutely sure that we had a representative from the non-tenure track faculty, and Kathy has been a fabulous representative. We actually have a subcommittee. We have 2 non-tenure track faculty members on the advisory board. We have a subcommittee that includes our 2 non-tenure track faculty members as well as a tenure track faculty member, because one thing we don't want to do is just sort of have NTT faculty feel as though they're sort of a separate part of the university, and that's not our intention at all. It's to integrate non-tenure track faculty as much as possible into committees on which tenure track faculty also serve, so that we all know how the 2 parts of the university interact in order to provide the best kind of education for our students. And again, I want to say what Emily and Dennis said about our students is so true, because in my capacity as an honors program director, I meet with a lot of students, and it's often the people they mention are the non-tenure track faculty as faculty members who have had real influence in their lives and about whom they care deeply. So this is true, this sort of narrative about the kind of impact non-tenure track faculty have on our students pervades the entire university. Okay. The other ways in which the Office for Faculty Development has been working for non-tenure track faculty and will continue to work for you is that we have you on our website now. Camille, there's a separate page, right, for non-tenure track faculty. So you enter the Office for Faculty Development website from the main UMB homepage, and there's a separate page for non-tenure track faculty issues, which Kathy and Chris Fung, who is in anthropology, constantly sort of remind us what we need to add on to that. And any suggestions that you have about the kinds of material and kinds of information that need to go on to the non-tenure track page of the Office for Faculty Development website, please send them to Camille or to Kathy. And we'll get to those immediately. That I think one of the latest initiatives, I guess, to recognize the work that non-tenure track faculty do has been the scholarship recognition for non-tenure track faculty. Some of you may have heard about it from your department chairs, but if not, you will be hearing about it. It's a very new initiative because we understand that you teach here, but your teaching is also enriched by some of your research that you may be doing off campus, the scholarship you may be doing, creative activities you may be engaged in, and if you've had opportunities to publish or make presentations at conferences or write plays or perform musically, all of those things are now being recognized, and you are certainly being asked to think of yourselves as holistic educators and not just people who are here to teach and do nothing else, even though teaching is important, but we want to make sure we recognize your other lives as well. So that has been a new initiative, the NTT Faculty Scholarship Recognition. Okay, you should be hearing about that if you haven't already. And the other thing is, I think John mentioned the knowledge tables that are here. These are knowledge tables that basically introduce all of the resources on our campus that affect you as educators in your role as serving our students. So there are knowledge tables about the disability services, knowledge tables about counseling, knowledge tables about even grant writing, because we want to make sure that you consider yourselves an integral part of this campus and that everything you need to know to make your lives more fulfilled and also the lives of our students more fulfilled that you now have available to you. So for the first time this time, when we had the new faculty orientation for tenure track faculty, we thought we would have these knowledge tables. And then we thought, we should have exactly the same knowledge tables for the non-tenure track faculty as well. So that's why we've done it this time, and we will continue to do it in the future. And I want to just end by saying that years and years ago, before I joined UMass Boston, I was a non-tenure track faculty member for many years of my life, almost, I want to say 8 or 9 years. in other institutions in our fair city, but I will not name them. And I do know, I do understand the sort of deep desire to feel as though you belong and that you're embraced and welcomed and that this is your home. Because one of the things I remember very well from those years before I came to UMass Boston was feeling precisely that I was just being used and that people didn't care about who I was as a scholar or what I might have to offer the institution that I was at. So I completely understand that feeling. And I just want you to know that I hope you think of UMass Boston as a place that has a very different kind of culture, and if it doesn't yet, that we're on road to getting there, and make sure that you let us know how you're feeling at any given time, either through Kathy or directly by emailing me or Camille, and we'll do our best to address that right away. So thank you very much. And I also want to say that the number of people sitting in this room does not reflect the incredible energy of the NTT faculty on our campus or of our desire to welcome and recognize you. I know you all have various other commitments, and so don't take this attendance as an indication of how valuable you are. Right, thank you very much.
Well, you can see why we love that woman. Amazing woman, incredible. We're lucky to have her here. I'm going to speak for a few minutes, and you're all going to stick around, no matter how boring I get, because as you've just seen, those of you who know him, Duncan Nelson has just walked in. And rather than have everybody walk out on me, I'm going to save the best for last. And as soon as I finish, Duncan will deliver the celebratory ode that will consecrate this event and make it an official UMass Boston event. Rajani spoke about making your voice heard. That's one of my themes. In fact, it's our theme for this year's Hidden Treasure. So I'm going to speak a bit about it for about 5 or 10 minutes. I hope you'll indulge me. I do this all the time. It's the only time, right, I get to do this. My students are always interrupting me and making fun of me, so please don't. Okay, I live in a house full of women. I'm used to it. I mean, it's just to have this opportunity. Hey? Oh yeah, by the way, there is the lunches over there, please. I'm apparently the only one who's taken one so far. It's not bad, so please, they're in that other room right there. Or take one with you when you go for tomorrow or some such thing. Some of you may have kids, bring them home. Right? And you can write McD and put a golden arch on the side of the bag, and they'll definitely be happy when they get it. Okay, I take it as axiomatic that all of us in the UMass Boston faculty, tenured, tenure track, and non-tenure track, share a love for the university, and especially for our students. For us, UMass is more than simply an institution of higher learning. It's a community. And for many of us, not just a job, but a way of life. When our new faculty come here to teach, one of the things they're counseled about, at least in my department, and they all say it's true, is how special and unique our student body is. Our students so often do not come from traditional student backgrounds or what is regarded as such. We all know many of them come from working class backgrounds. Many are from the first or second generation immigrant families. More and more are international students. Most of them must work to finance their college careers, the cost of which is going up. Many of them, as I was, are the first person in the history of their families to attend university. And I doubt there are many universities in this nation with a student body as diverse as ours here at UMass Boston, especially so in New England, Puritan New England. For example, in the fall of 2010, the statistics I've seen say that among our 15,454 students are people whose families came from 136 different countries and were enrolled here at UMass Boston. Most of them are permanent residents or citizens, and only 4% of our students were international students. 52% of our students are first-generation college students, meaning that neither of their parents graduated from university. 42% of our students live in the metro Boston area. That's the contiguous suburbs and Boston itself. 60% of our students are women. I'm getting worried. I've even suggested to Rajni we need affirmative action for men in the honors program. And 39% are members of a minority group, 15% African American, 12% Asian, and then the rest distributed, what they call Asian. So UMass is also unique, not simply in the diversity of its student body in New England, but in the sense of mission. The Chancellor stresses so many times that UMass Boston is a research university with a teaching soul. There are other aspects of that mission that he could also speak of, because UMass was established, as we all know, with an urban mission. That is, to serve as much as possible as its priority the working communities of Boston and the surrounding inner suburbs. This urban mission, as we all know, is in the process of being, to put it kindly, more closely defined, perhaps even redefined, and perhaps at the same time paradoxically expanding, as UMass prepares itself to better serve the needs of students in this 21st century. But that sense of urban mission, however it develops, in my view, and I think many others, remains central to the very idea of this university, and certainly to the commitment of a great part of our faculty to the university and to our students, our special students. We do not want to see this urban mission watered down, lost in the shuffle, or worse, globalized beyond recognition. Many of us teach at UMass precisely because of what makes it so unique. I speak not only for myself when I say I love this university, and I really love my students. We're committed to giving them the best possible learning experience we can give them, often under adverse circumstances, though that commitment never stops us, as we all know, it's mid-semester, from groaning to each other about how things pile up on us at the end of the semester, even by mid-semester, as I'm sure the students do as well. I've heard that. But what I'm saying, and I emphasize it again, and the Dean McDermott, said the same, and Rajni said the same, NTT faculty are just as committed to our university and our students as the tenured and tenure track faculty. And like them, we're proud of this place. We're proud of teaching here. At our first HiddenTreasure Convocation 4 years ago, Provost Langley thrilled those of us who were here, and those who weren't, who heard about it later, when he began his remarks by observing that the notion of a hidden treasure, as Dean McDermott said, in a university setting was anomalous, self-contradictory. For at any university, or anywhere really, a treasure should be unearthed, opened, and its wealth enjoyed and shared by everyone. That's maybe anti-American, but that endorsement of the importance, indeed, in the minds of some of us, of the very existence of NTT faculty at UMass Boston resonated and rippled through our ranks, and not just our ranks. In the provost's words, an equal distribution of respect. And I think we're starting to achieve that more and more. And you've heard Rajni's speech and some things that are happening here. We chose the name Hidden Treasure at that time deliberately. We're thinking about changing it. We may have a contest for a new name with a prize will be one of the free lunches. We chose it because we felt that to an uncomfortable degree it largely reflected our position here at UMass Boston, though perhaps not in every department. Let me remind you just very briefly about some of our numbers here at UMass Boston. In fall 2010, there were 525 full-time faculty. And Zhao Wang has told me 122 of them full-time faculty are non-tenure track. In addition, there are 513 part-time non-tenure track faculty. This is a massive presence. And 4 years ago, many of us felt invisible and certainly hidden. And I think accurately, a treasure. Since that first Hidden Treasure event and since that ringing recognition by our provost, we have been able to greatly expand our involvement in the university in almost all aspects of university life to begin more and more to achieve the weighty presence we feel we deserve here at UMass. With recognition comes, of course, responsibility. Many of us feel, not all, many of us feel we have an obligation to give back to our university, to do service for the university of some sort. Of course, we're all deeply involved in campus life, especially through our wonderful and frankly primary commitment to our students. And how many other opportunities have emerged in the last 4 years? Often opportunities to become involved in even what we might call bureaucratic or administrative aspects of university life. For example, we've become involved and had members sitting on the Strategic Planning Committee, the Joint Committee on Distance Learning, the Faculty Development Committee, now the Office for Faculty Development, the Implementation Design Team, which I sat on, the Honors Program Planning Committee, which I sit on, and others too, and too many others to name here. And many people are involved in their departments, as Wendy and others from English and Sociology, Emmett, can tell you. So if you want to get involved, there are opportunities. Contact me or contact the Faculty Staff Union office. Each year we have kind of a general theme to Hidden Treasure. First year was simply recognition. The second year was more inclusion. Last year in our small one, it was to change, that things were changing here at UMass. And this year, it's being heard, having our voice heard as we participate and help decide the future course of our university. For UMass is on the threshold of some significant changes. Some of them have already started. Some of them are almost below the radar screen, but they're important. These are exciting times for UMass, though we might not all understand exciting in quite the same fashion. We know the enormous effect this building, the campus center, had on the climate here at UMass Boston. It's 6 years old now. Some of you have been here before that. You remember what it was like before the campus center. This has been marvelous. Now we have 2 new buildings on the way. One we've already seen started, Integrated Science Complex, right? Right in that parking lot right there, you're going to see next door, starting I believe this summer, the General Academic Building 1. Oh, it's moving to the north now. How come I didn't know that? I didn't know that.
Well, because they realized this was too narrow.
Well, better late than never. So it's moving over there to the north lot, as I understand. Gee, I was only on the committee. Oh, well. And if you count the Edward Kennedy Museum, we have 3 coming, okay? There's a strategic plan, the 2025 strategic plan for the growth and development of the university over the next 15, 14 now years. And there's an implementation plan. I was on that committee, so the changes are coming. But the changes are not simply to the physical makeup and appearance of our campus. The changes may alter the very character of our university, its urban mission, increasing the size of the student body, with consequent perhaps increases in class size and possibly teaching loads. And of course, outrageous, in my opinion, fee increases and the like to help cover the cost that the state will no longer pay for. And we want to have our voice heard to say as faculty members what we think the future direction of the university should be, how we think the urban mission should be preserved and what direction it should take, what we think of class sizes, and so on. In fact, we think all segments of the university, faculty, staff, the community, and especially our students, should have their voices heard, should have the opportunity to be as fully involved as possible in discussing and affecting the changes that will come. This may be messy, it may be uncomfortable for those in positions of hierarchy, but I think for the future of our university, it's of vital importance. And so if you want to have your voices heard and you think of some mechanisms for us, please contact us. We're trying to set some things up around that. And you know, there's a group called Occupy UMass, which is already starting to do such things. And there's more. There can't be too many, right? This is our university, and we are determined that our voice will be heard. Did I hear someone say encore? No, okay. Well, I already prepared you. We all know, here at UMass Boston, we have so many rich and varied resources and personalities that are almost greater than life to draw upon. Many of them, like Hidden Treasure, are unique to this university. One of those resources is the amazing Duncan Nelson. I'm fortunate. I'm not just a colleague of Duncan's. As a member of the English department, I get to see him almost every day, at least 2 or 3 days a week. I'm here every day, he's not. And speak with him on a regular basis. We recite Thomas Hardy poems to each other. Usually we recite the same one over and over again. But, neutral tones. And as I joked to him the other day, I have fallen from an ash and am gray. Unique, I think, is fair to say, is certainly an accurate description of this lovable and exceptional man who's meant so much to our department and to the university. We knew from the start, no action grants more telling institutional acceptance for Hidden Treasure than a celebratory ode from Duncan Nelson. That, I think, is the ultimate seal of approval. So we're fortunate, once again, at the last minute notice, because I blew it, which is why he's not on the official notice. So I apologize to him. That's right. And he hasn't let me, he's been flagellating me ever since. I run away when I see him now. He so enthusiastically agreed, this time at the last moment, to bless our proceedings again and again and again. This is the 3rd time. We didn't do it last year because we had a reduced Hidden Treasure. I always look forward to seeing how Duncan meets the challenge that Hidden Treasure presents him, so many names, so many different lectures. And I hope, as he has in the past, but I'm hoping so, I forgot to remind him this year, that my last name, Hess, like the gas station owners, but without the money. Rhymes with more words than mess or pest. Okay? So please welcome the Poet Laureate of UMass Poet Laureate of UMass Boston, Duncan Nelson.
So should I wear my hat, or shall I wear my bardic bays? My hat's pretty good.
Oh, put it on top of that.
No. Non-tenure track faculty celebration, 10/25 and 10/26/2011, just so we place ourselves. Up Mount Parnassus, yet again a climber, comes UMass Boston's resident rhymer. Prime to address this part-timer gala occasion. 'Tis my honor and pleasure to be bidden to come on board to measure this precious hoard of hidden treasure. Here at the outset, let me first bless the chutzpah and follow through of John Hess, the spearhead of yet another success. He who got the provost and dean to say yes to the digging up of treasure long hidden, which for years had been quietly slid in. We thank them for heeding Hess's bidding. And we thank you again, Dean Donna Kaisinga and Provost Winston Langley, for prizing a resource so rich, for no longer disguising the worth of this unearthed chest of jewels, the possession of which so substantially fuels this great school as it expands and retools. No wonder then that Chancellor Motley and dean after dean pursue these guys hotly, yea, more hotly even than is Chipotle. Knowing full-timers on their tenure tracks are going to find that teaching can tax them so much they need someone who's got their backs. That's where NTTs come in at UMass. They take on class after class after class, doing so in ways that surpass even the highest expectations, and lo, amidst all the complications of their pedagogical obligations, mirabile dictu and hip hip, hooray, here I give my hat a tip. They also find time for scholarship. And today and tomorrow, with spirit infectious, they'll present a wondrous array of lectures, rich beyond measure in tones and in textures. From Hispanic Studies, Mark Schaefer starts things off with Our Other Lives in the Arts, after which Fatime Haghigachu and Michael Keating will tell you what you better quickly get apprised of as we become globalized. After which Rebecca Romanow brings film to bear upon the powerlessness and plague of the Bush years. And next, in a one-act play appears The Big Boss by Rebecca Saunders, after which Deborah Metzel ponders how to provide long-distance caregiving for those of us who'll be long living. This followed by the bravura and brio of Peter Jansen's jazz trio, and let me tell you, we're really gonna get a real kick out of Jill McDonough and her friends as they wax poetic in ways not the least effete or ascetic. And tomorrow we'll see us addressing complex classroom encounters, yet they'll not vex us nearly so much once Patrick Day speaks to us calmly, our fears to allay. After which Cheryl Lacourciere's here to tell us about telecares, during which for sure we will learn of the crucial role played by the nursing intern. Then at 1 o'clock, Catherine Cogan makes clear how students use coursework to choose a career, after which Bill Holmes will hook us by dint of his knowing how we're going to get into print. Then Al Leisinger will give us a chance to visit a tent camp in Port-au-Prince, after which Richard Cluster will stick us with harpoon-sharp questions about Moby dick. And then David Glesso's chamber singers will serenade us sweetly, thus bring us to Carol's center, who'll raise the bar on the artful art of teaching memoir. So that's a lot of kits and caboodles. Yea, literally, oodles and oodles of wonderfully varied exemplifications of why it is meet that such celebrations as these are held, and why it is proper that here at the end I should raise my topper. And lest for being remiss I be chidden, let me make clear, just in case I didn't, that the treasure I hail is so much now unhidden that its coinage is recognized as comprising a major force in the reorganizing and the re-energizing and supersizing of a UMass Boston whose star is rising to the point the world is realizing the far reach of its beacon, the incomparable worth of its vision and its mission to encompass the earth. We thank you all of you part-timers, NTTs, and I hand to you all. Great job. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hail, hail. Thank you, John.
Well, nothing can top that. So we'll end with that. Thank you all very much.